Our gold shines bright because this is a network unlike any other. 135,000 affiliated agents across 84 countries and territories in almost every Spanish-speaking country in the world. This is the most recognized name in real estate, the most respected brand in the industry. That has a nice ring to it. The leader in brand awareness 25 years in a row. This is earning accolades. More accolades. And more. Okay, that's a lot. This is making an impression. Over 27 billion of them. This is showing up big. Here, here, and all across here. Oh, and not just for clients, for the community. We're lifting up others with us. This is not resting on a legacy. This is running on it. Taking all that's been learned and seen and taught and dreamed over the past 50 years to shape and fuel the next 100. Century 21. This is our century.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good to see everybody. Thank you for coming. Okay, there's our graphic today. August 26th. Let's talk real estate. Plans of the century. I always think this looks like the Seattle Sound. But that's a nice graphic. That's a nice party. So there's still a lot of partying to do this year, isn't there?
Every year.
We're having a nice long hot summer. And we're kind of winding into it. It'll be fall. What's the first day of fall?
Oh.
I should Google that.
It is September 22nd.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a month. All right, there's the graphic. Plans of the century. Get that out on Facebook and Instagram and maybe on your website. Find some good places for that. You got to be creative with social media. People are always going one place or another, and it changes. So have a look at that. Okay, let's talk real estate. I have some interesting points here to talk about with the team. And I don't see Nick, but let's just get right started. As you work through your week, remember to keep some of these things in mind, like we always talk about. And what I want to talk today about is discipline over motivation. So think about that. What does that mean? See, discipline will take us places that motivation will not take us. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline creates consistency, and consistency creates results. What are some ideas of discipline that we put into real estate?
I think creating a schedule that you follow every day, every week, every month. I think if you know what you're doing at 9 a.m., maybe you make your calls at 9 a.m. every day. That's discipline. And it's also consistency. I think consistency, I always like to focus on the word consistency. I think consistency brings results. I think it's so true. Every day you call, every day you're going to make an appointment, every day you're going to make, increases your chance of getting a listing. So I think discipline over motivation is so true. Motivation is very, it comes and goes, like Mike says, or like you said. But if you know that you have the discipline to stick to your schedule, to make your calls, you can expect results. So,
yeah. Well, I like that. Consistency is key, I think. It's key to all of that. And just the schedule. We have a program on a daily schedule. And, those can be a lot of fun and you can learn a lot from doing that. You learn a lot about yourself And I always say, don't take someone else's schedule. That's not going to work for you. Decide what it is you want to do and think about how you do things. You know, as we go through life, as we get older, we learn a lot about ourselves and we learn what we will and we won't do. And we stop fighting that. Maybe we thought when we were younger, we learn about disciplined tasks and we learn about consistency and how to do things. And we think we have to adjust, or maybe we're told we have to adjust. But as we get older, we go, I'll do this. I know I'll do that. I know I won't do that. So just relax and get on with it. So that's what I've learned. You've got to learn about yourself as well. All right. Enjoy the journey. Take time to enjoy what you're doing. So enjoy the contacts that you make and the people you talk to. Enjoy working the leads. Enjoy going on your appointments and showing off your skills. And enjoy the entire experience. But don't forget to appreciate the disappointments as well and the mini failures. Many of our greatest success come from setbacks. And those experiences often become valuable tools for future success. What do they say? Charlie Brown, I've made so many mistakes, I should be the smartest person in the world. I agree with that. Mistakes are easy to make. They're hard to avoid, and they're actually unavoidable. So it's enjoying the good times and appreciating, what the difficult days are. Has anybody had an experience like that? I don't want to say a failure, but just something that didn't quite go right.
Yeah.
You
Every
might.
day. Yeah. Yeah. So we tried to avoid a certain appraiser, and we learned that that was a mistake. You can't do that in VA. You have to go with the one that's originally assigned. So we lost a few days on our timeline because we did that. But everything worked out okay, and the appraisal came in good, and it's closed now. But that was a mistake. You don't try to control those things. It was brought to me by the other agent. So he said, I've had bad experience with this appraiser, and it had to do with a property very similar to ours. And so we thought, well, maybe we could just ask for a different appraiser, but we found out that you can't do that. So that was a mistake that I made.
Yes.
I should have just said, well, it's going to be that, but now we know. And even the lender who's done hundreds and hundreds of VA loans didn't know that that's something that you can't do. You can never change that. It has to stay with the same one. So learn stuff every day. Now I will never try to do that again.
Yeah. So it wasn't too much of a delay to cause any issues. Good.
Not really. But it could have. Because he could have dragged it out longer than he did, but he got it in a day earlier than what he had to do. So it worked out. So
good.
That was a mistake. Yeah. And sometimes, just basic conversations can be mistakes that you learn from, like, talking to your clients about things, just making sure that you're always listening to them, and sometimes too much information is not a good idea.
Too much information.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Sometimes there's a time to talk. Sometimes there's a time to wait. Silence can be good. It's all part of the communication process. I should say something now, so I'll say something. It doesn't even matter what you say. There are times when you need to say something. There's certainly times when you need to listen.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay, this is a little tongue-in-cheek. This is a Mike Ferry statement, but he says, how do people stay poor? All right, so one way to stay poor is to watch the news all day. Another way is to spend excessive time on social media. People can stay poor by lacking a passion for what they do. Especially they can stay in their comfort zone too long. And that's a great topic that I love, is talking about getting outside of your comfort zone. They keep searching for a magic formula instead of taking action. So I think the key point in that is, yeah, it's a little cheeky, but yeah, these things will keep you poor. They will hurt your business. All of these things hurt your business. And getting outside of your comfort zone is really one of the secrets to this. If anybody were to ask me, what have you learned in all of this, or what are the secret things? It's that the salesperson has the personality to do what's required. And what's required can be very uncomfortable for most people. So one of the skills you need to develop, and you can take baby steps. You don't have to just knock on the door and stick your foot in the door and say, I've got a vacuum cleaner to sell you. All right, that's the old way. Today, there are ways to ease into it, to just get more comfortable talking to people in these situations. And the way to do that is with training like this, where we master the situation, so we're in complete control over it. And just ease into it throughout your career to just get better and better at it. But the people you admire because of their sales or because of their success in life have outgoing personalities, aren't afraid to talk to anybody, aren't afraid to breach any topic, talk about the difficult concepts in your real estate sales. So you want to get there. You want to get there slowly. Has anybody had to deal with that? Maybe overcoming that kind of a barrier?
Yes.
Yes.
I some for me sometimes the hardest thing is to keep enthusiastic, and like the one topic you said already about enjoying what you're doing. So sometimes it just feels like you don't want to keep going and doing that, but just always staying focused on the people and having the information that they need when they ask for it. So that's why we have to study the market a lot. Sometimes I get tired of talking to people about real estate because they ask me every time I see them, but I just have to keep focused on what I do for a living.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you got to
Yeah.
answer those questions.
Yeah, I'll be honest, for me, I never thought I would be comfortable talking about real estate. When I first started, I was like, how do I even bring the topic up when I talk to people? But it just comes naturally. And even yesterday, I had a friend call me out. He's like, always the real estate agent, because I started talking about, if anybody was looking to buy or sell, do you know anybody who needs the help of a real estate agent? And it just came up, and that I had to develop that, and I had to be comfortable just tossing it in a conversation, and finding the right time and place to bring that up. And I think it was very difficult, when I first started, but now, I guess I don't even think about it because my friends always call me out on it.
There you go. There you go.
Yep,
And now you're the local
shameless.
expert.
It's shameless,
Yeah.
shameless self-promotion, and I've been called out as well.
Well, imagine if you were a doctor. Every time you tell people you're a doctor and they start asking you those questions that, society tells you don't bother them with those questions. That's not the same in the real estate. Go ahead and ask the question. But yeah, don't keep it a secret, and have the confidence to not keep it a secret. By the way, I'm a realtor. That's a good thing to say. Next one, we have growth comes from difficulty. Growth comes through difficulty. We don't grow when things are easy. I believe that. We grow when things are difficult. Challenges develop skills, character, and confidence. And that's the theme we're talking about today. Those problems do develop your skills and your confidence. So you have to go out looking for them. You have to be participating. I was talking last week about being engaged in the industry. And if you need baby steps, then go to other people's open houses and talk to the real estate agent And, you know, that can be very revealing to get out there and see stuff like that, kind of evaluate it. You're going to go to an open house and the agent's going to be fantastic. They're going to have done everything right. They're going to begin engaging with people. You'll see them engaging with visitors to an open house and actually talking about selling them a house and getting them a mortgage. And you're going to see the other extreme, and you're going to be appalled that the person didn't even acknowledge you when you came in. They didn't know who you were, but they were just focused on their iPad or probably on their phone conversation. So you learn a lot about other realtors. You see the good and the bad, and you know, kind of ignore the bad and emulate the good things that you see. Should always be I think you should always be looking for role models in life. And they're out there if you go looking for them. The truth about real estate selling. This is nice. The real estate is the lowest paid easy work. And also the highest paid hard work. So it's the highest paying job. It's also the lowest paying if you're just doing grunt work. The rewards come to those willing to do the difficult activities consistently. And
Yep.
the difficult one is actually engaging people and being the salesperson.
Yep, that's the hardest part, is getting the business and going
Yeah.
out and getting, yeah. So
Right. If you're just doing back office stuff, if you're doing very passive marketing, like being on the internet, that's very low paying because what the results you're going to get for that are hardly even measurable. You can put in an amazing amount of time on the internet and not see anything. Compare that
yeah,
to
you
talking
can
face to
also
face.
show houses for many hundreds of houses to the same buyer, and that's the hard thing. But you eventually get the paycheck if you stick with it.
Hopefully.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the
we say we work
concept.
for free sometimes, right?
That's the
We work for
concept.
free.
But
Yeah,
you've seen that fall apart too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, sometimes
yeah.
all of us here, even in recent times, have had that experience of somebody who's driving us all over the region and looking at anything with 3 acres or more or less, and very frustrating, very frustrating. And I understand that. I understand that a property like that that's not in a neighborhood, it could be, you know, it could be in Gresham, it could be in Hillsborough, it could be in Vancouver. That's okay. It could be in Salem. Those people are tough. You know, it's like pick one. Here's the globe. You know, pick something and we'll show it to you. But a realtor can't be doing that for you. So that's tough. Okay, don't become attached to a lead. That's right. Remember, there are more nuts out there than squirrels. Now, I haven't done the math on that, but I imagine that's going to be true. That actually has to be true. So don't become emotionally attached to any one lead or transaction. There are always more opportunities available. Well, that's it. And that's in the old days of sales with Mike Ferry and his little 3x5 cards. He'd go to the office and he's looking for somebody to work with today. So imagine that concept. We're looking for somebody to work with today. And if you're not ready for us today, I don't have time to talk to you. I'm going to set you aside, you know, come back to me when you are ready. But if you're not ready, you know, in the next, 7 to 10 days, we're going to move on and keep looking for somebody else. We're going to look for another nut instead of, you know, try to work this one. So that's a concept for the top producers. The top producers understand that. And yes, they're happy to talk to somebody, but they don't necessarily meet somebody at an open house and then spend the day thinking about that person and getting them statistics and all of that. That stuff is automated if they're not ready, to move right now. So the successful people understand that conversation. If I need somebody today and you're not it, I'm looking for the next person. And we have expand your listing sources. The more sources of listings you work, the better your chances of securing the listing. So think about expanding your prospecting methods and diversify your lead generation activities. So if you haven't, and you should, is write down all of your sources. Look at everything you've done in the past 12 months and just write it out and say, where did that lead come from? And then look for any patterns. Have you found the golden nugget on social media? Have you found something? Because they do exist. Sometimes working with the groups of people with similar interests, that can become a referral base. And if you see that you sold 3 of those in the last 12 months, that probably is worth reviewing your efforts and see if there's anything more you can do or any way you can improve that lead source. If you're spending a lot of time on Facebook and Instagram and you get nothing in the last 12 or 18 months, it's time to rethink that too. Maybe don't put that time into that. And think about the most active sources as opposed to the passive sources. Have a combination of those. So that can be a little bit hard to find. We all know what the passive sources are. They're the ones everybody talks about. They're the structured ones. They're going to Facebook. Gosh, we've heard so many advice over the last 10 years in this program. Facebook, we'll go in there 8 times a day and do these tasks and how many times to post. And it just, it seems excessive. But people have done that and then look at the results. And unfortunately, the results can be 0, even with a high and focused intensity program like that. So that's a passive activity. So look for active activities. Look for actually reaching out and grabbing somebody by the collar and saying, I'm a realtor. Do you have a need for this? And that's where getting outside of your comfort zone comes in. That will get you outside of your comfort zone if you do that. We, the 3 managers here, we pick up the phone on a schedule and call other realtors and ask them if they'd like to join Century 21. Now that gets everybody out of their comfort zone, especially me and Kung. Now Sean is a little more seasoned at that, but that's a tough call to make. I'll admit that is a tough call. But it's necessary and it's good for you. You feel good when you did it. You're getting out of your comfort zone, and you're just developing your skills. You're just developing your good skill to talk to people under any situation.
And I think Nick is the best at it.
Nick is probably the best at it, but we're good at it too because we have a career of solving problems. We have a career of calling a realtor at another company with a problem. And we don't hesitate to do that. We say, could you help us out here? Things are not going right. Could you maybe explain the situation to us? That's the manager's job. And so we're good at that. Then why can't we pick it up and say, oh, hi, it's Kung again. Have you thought about looking at Century 21? It's the same person. You're the same person. So all of that gets you out of your comfort zone. I do recommend that everybody cold call to experience it. I'm not saying you choose that as one of your lead sources, as one of your active lead sources. It is kind of the ultimate active lead source, that and meeting somebody face to face. It's hard to get to people face to face that have an immediate need, but it is possible to call a neighborhood and tell them that there's an open house. And that's a great skill to have. Everybody should understand that and have done that. When you're new in the business, you got to pay some dues as you develop your career and you develop your database.
I feel like you have to be doing a lot of different things to try to get listings. It can't be just one thing. And the things that you think is going to get you your listings sometimes isn't that, and something happens from something else that you were doing. So it's always good to be creating all different ways to get listings. Always. I mean, another good way to get listings is to ask other agents for referrals that aren't licensed in your area.
Right. That's right. That's right. You've had a lot of success with that nationally,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's part of your networking activities.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, lead follow-up. And then finally, improve your skills. And think about this, identify of all the scripts and the things that we teach and we role play, identify your greatest weaknesses. And you would learn that by actually role playing with somebody. You'd think, well, this is, going into a listing presentation, that's the thing I'm afraid of the most. And of course, then that's where you want to put your efforts in the next 12 months in developing them. Find those, practice them for at least an hour a day, what you think your weaknesses are. Let's say it is the 5-point listing system. So spend an hour a day on that. There are people who would love to go through that with you. I would love to sit and role play, and the managers would too, for an agent who'd like to develop those skills. Turn weaknesses into strengths through repetition. That's what that does. And consider attending at least one productivity, business, or educational class each year. And that's a good tie-in. We're going to mention that what is this? What is this class called? It's right here at the bottom. And it's
Accelerate.
yeah. And so that's going to be September 1st. So that's coming up. And so I highly recommend that. It is good information. You know what I find out about information is sometimes you think there's something out there you don't know. And at some point, when I started the North Star system, which was during COVID, I wanted to compile everything that there was to know so that I knew there wasn't something out there that I didn't know. When I see a realtor who's producing more than we are, I know that they're doing it with one of these methods, that they don't have some magic method that isn't available to us. And there is no such thing. And this will be a reminder of that and a review of all of the time-tested processes to get listings and to run your business. But there is no secret weapon. Those people are actually the guy on the bus stop bench is actually very charismatic, very good at approaching people and selling his services. That's why he's on the bus, not because he has some secret weapon. And that reminds you of that. So, all right, some good information there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, cool. Do you want to go over the listings and
Yeah.
transactions?
Yeah, let's start with Portland and Coos Bay, the coast. We have a recent closing by Lena Davidson for her listing in Hillsborough. So
Oh,
congrats to Lena on that.
yes.
Had been on the market for a couple months, but she got a great she found a buyer for her seller. So congrats, and they closed I believe yesterday.
Okay.
We have a couple new listings coming up. I believe there's going to be a new listing from Michelle Schock, West Lynn, going live on Friday. We will have photos and more information on that as soon as it hits the market. And we also have a couple closings scheduled the end of the month. And I will announce those as they officially close. At the coast, nothing new to inform you guys on, but agents are staying busy working with buyers and getting properties on the market. I know Sherry Stevens is still working really hard to getting the two pieces of land sold. So those just came on the market, I believe, this month. So go check it out. Those listings are in this company listing site. If you need more information, or reach out to me if you need me to point you to the listing. So yeah, that's all of Oregon. What's going on in Washington, Shauna?
Well, we had Sarah Borders. She closed one up in Longview, and I had a closing in Battleground, Washington. It was a nice big one, so I was happy to get that one closed.
Nice.
Um,
Congratulations.
Other than that, there's just, I know Shauna's got an offer out there. So we have buyers out there looking and writing, but still waiting to get those in escrow. And I know Stephen and Jennifer have some closings coming up soon too.
Okay.
And
Okay.
in Oregon or in Idaho, we had Bailey put a buyer under contract. Great job, Bailey. Then Sean put a buyer under contract and has a new listing that will go live today.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, Bailey is one of our newer agents in Idaho. So she's hitting the ground running. Congrats. Good job.
Shauna, have you heard from Taj? Any activity on the government camp? Luxury?
I haven't heard from him. No, I will reach out to him and see so I
Yeah.
can report back next week.
No, I'd be
He did
interested
not.
if he's had any showings on that.
Yeah. He hasn't talked to me about it, so I don't know, but he's a busy guy.
Well, yes. Yes. Okay. And okay, so oh yeah, we got Idaho. Good. Good activity in Idaho. Okay. And just a little advice, if your property has been here too long, it's overpriced. So I will just say that that's my job. My job is to tell you your listing's overpriced. Well, it went up yesterday. Well, it's still overpriced. It's still come down. So we do have a couple for whatever reason, but we have some beautiful stuff that is poised to sell. Oh, look at that. Oh, Faye has a good photographer. That's a beautiful picture. So congratulations on this listing. This is very nice.
Oh, we got an escrow. I just haven't uploaded the Sky Slope.
Congratulations.
Oh, it fell through like twice. I hope third time is the charm.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
It's tough.
Oh, that's great.
Congrats.
Oh, yeah, that's a gorgeous home. Okay. Okay, Koen, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. Let's see what I have. Okay. You guys see my screen? Mortgage rates?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's see. 30-year fixed rate mortgage has declined for the second consecutive week. It's averaging 6.65 with a dip in rates providing modest relief for home buyers. It's important to remember borrowers can potentially save thousands by shopping around for the best mortgage rates. And yeah, we always advise our clients to speak to different mortgage companies, their banking institution, whatever is going to give them their best rates. Different companies have different products that may work better for your clients, so have them shop around. The 15-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 5.95, down from last week when it averaged 5.96. A year ago at this time, it was 5.69. So take advantage of the slight decline and see if we can get your buyers pre-approved and start looking for houses.
Okay.
Okay. Let's take a look at more local statistics. We'll start with Idaho this time. We will see, let's see what the median list price is. It's 629.9 and median days on market is 47 days. This is Ada County in Idaho. Sales price is median sales price is 565 and the average sales price is 675. And this is for all the real estate in Ada County. I believe that includes the different sizes, and I don't believe it includes commercial. This is all residential. Canyon County, there are currently 1,272 current active listings. Average list price is $612, $881. A median list price is $490,000, and the median days on market is 48. That's pretty good. I believe ours is a little longer, but let's double check. Let's jump up to Portland. Again, as a reminder, you can find all these stats on your local MLS. Ours is RMLS. So let's see what it has to say let's do for the Portland metro area. Yep, as you can tell, 59 days on market in the Portland metro area with 403 new listings as compared to the previous week. $583,600 is the average sales price, and $530,500 is the median sale price. Shauna, you want to tell us what's going on in Clark County?
Sure. Looks like 128 new listings, and we're currently at 56 days on the market, which is up a little bit from last week. Then we've got average sales price is $673, and there've been some higher price closings, it looks like, over the last week, and our median is $584,500. Yeah, just every time I see these, it just blows me away how close we are to Oregon, the Portland Metro, when it used to be such a big difference. And I say
Right.
that almost every week, but it's mind-boggling that how much it's changed over in Clark County in the last 10 years.
Mhm. Yeah, we've even seen it here. We check these stats weekly, and you can see the trend of it, slowly matching with the Portland metro area.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the blog. I don't have the most recent one, but let's use this one as our company and office events. Shauna, did you have a lunch and learn coming up next Tuesday, you said?
Yes, well, it isn't sponsored by my office, but it is sponsored by Fidelity, and it's going to be in Ridgefield. If anybody wants to do it on Tuesday, let me know, and I can send over the information so you can sign up. It costs $5 because in Washington they can't host things without charging. So they're hosting it, and it's going to be at a builder in Ridgefield, and he's going to teach how to do videos. So
Oh, nice.
it'll be a really good one. And I know Nick isn't on, but I was thinking instead of his broker tour, he might want to head to Ridgefield for that since he likes to do the social media stuff. So it's going to be a good one. It always is. It's from 12 to 1:30, and I'll find the flyer and send it to anybody who wants to go.
Yeah, send it to
Also,
me, and I'll forward it to all the Oregon agents.
great. And so yeah, Shauna and I are going to it. And then also Shauna and I are signed up for another event. It's a golf tournament. So we got a couple people going with us as a foursome, and two of them are good golfers and I am not. So it's a scramble. So it doesn't matter. It should be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of people in the industry there. So maybe I'll try to get a hat for, I think she's got a hat, but I was thinking the yellow one. I don't know if she'll wear it or not. But she has lots of gear. We'll wear our Century 21 gear out there.
Nice. Right on, right on. And yeah, as a reminder, every Tuesday, Nick, hosts the broker tour. They check out the new inventory in the Portland metro area every Tuesday at 11 a.m. So if you're interested, please join us. And I'll see if Nick and I can work something out. I think this video class would be great for him, and I might be able to host the broker tours or go with them next week. Let's see what else is happening. Any events happening in Idaho?
They had lunch and learn, I think last Tuesday. I'm not sure.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's all I have on my end. I'll pass it back to you, John.
Okay, yeah, let's just real quick, just to warm up on this and demonstrate it for the people who haven't. Let's just do a couple of objections real quick, because that's what everybody loves. Uh, Shauna, can you help me with this one? Can you see the screen?
Sure. I can, yes.
Okay, this comes up, every now and then. Uh, but I only want to give you a 30 or a 90-day. I don't want to give you a 60-day listing because I think it should sell in 60 days, and if it doesn't, I'm going to do something else.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I can't do that because my policy and our company policy is 6 months listing agreement. Other than that, it's a lot of work to get all the photos and all that and not have the time to sell it. It's definitely a special, unique home, and it could take longer than 30, 60 days to sell.
Right. So please sign the contract.
Yep. So yeah, let's get this on the market. If something happens and you change your mind, that's that. But it's pointless to do a 30
It's
list.
pointless. So this is one, like I say, probably the most common objection is the commission.
Mhm.
And yes, we say no to that, but there is wiggle room there, if truth be told. There should
Yeah.
be. There's no wiggle room here. You don't want a 30-day listing. You don't want a 60-day listing. It really is going to be a lot of work when you're not even given the opportunity to let it expose itself to the market. So this is completely unfair on a real estate professional. So flat out no to these. Just a flat out no. Now you
I
said
mean,
6 months. I was going to say 12 months. And if you want to say, oh, it's company policy, yeah, company policy is 12 months. You can do 6,
yes.
but don't do less than 6 because it's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I know the few times that has been an issue, it's like you said, it doesn't come up very often, but when it does, and I agreed to it once, and that
Yeah.
was the biggest mistake. I ended up losing the listing, and they listed with somebody else at a lower price, and it sold. So that's what's going to happen if you do it. So just say no.
Yeah. Just say.
Just say no.
And then let's do one more, and that's going to be we're thinking about EXP. We have heard of your company, but we're thinking about another company because we know more about them.
Oh, well, I can understand your thought process on that, but I realize you gotta realize that the company doesn't sell the home. It's the individual agent activity that's going to sell that home. Do you feel that I could sell your home?
Yes,
Terrific.
I think so.
All we need to do then now is just get the contract signed, and then I can get your house sold. Won't that be great?
That would be great. Just sign the contract, please. Okay, phrasing it that way, you have to use the tools that apply to your question right now. So if they say they never heard of you, then you say, well, we're Century 21, the most recognized brand in the industry, the most respected, the most, like our little video at the beginning of this says, we're just the most respected that there is. If they say we know the company or we never heard of the company, then you do what you just did. Well, it's the realtor that sells it. It's the realtor that's the face of it and the local celebrity. Company doesn't matter so much. So use the tools that you need, given the situation.
Yeah, know what your values are. Know what you can how you sets you apart from other agents. That's a hard one. I think I really need to work on it more myself. When somebody says, what will you do differently? I need to work on that and get a good answer for that. Do some role playing.
Yeah. We do get people say, well, maybe your company's not what it used to be, or your company's not big in this area. Yet that does come up. Or maybe they're in a neighborhood where it's, let's say, starts with a W, the company, that we get. And so then you do have to push both. Well, we are a great company. We are still number one at what we do. And as a realtor, I know the neighborhood. So it's an opportunity. This is actually a good question to get because it's an opportunity to explain these things and remind them of something they probably already know. Okay. All right. That's our time. So thank you, everybody. I hope this was helpful. The title of this program is Let's Talk Real Estate. So I want to get people talking about real estate as much as we can and kind of review these basic things. I think is very helpful. So I thank you for coming, and we're here for you if you need anything. So have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
This is our time. No, this is our century. Our gold shines bright. Because this is a network unlike any other. 135,000 affiliated agents across 84 countries and territories. In almost every Spanish-speaking country in the world. This is the most recognized name in real estate. The most respected brand in the industry. That has a nice ring to it. The leader in brand awareness 25 years in a row. This is earning accolades. More accolades. And more. Okay, that's a lot. This is making an impression. Over 27 billion of them. This is showing up big. Here, here, and all across here. Oh, and not just for clients, for the community. We're lifting up others with us. This is not resting on a legacy. This is running on it. Taking all that's been learned and seen and taught and dreamed over the past 50 years to shape and fuel the next 100. Century 21. This is our century.